My beloved child. Before you decide that this message is not for you, stay with me for a little longer. Don't skip. There is a reason you arrived here at this exact moment. Out of countless voices, your attention stopped here, and that is where today's story truly begins. Something huge is waiting for you. You may not understand it in the first few moments, but by the end of this journey, every piece will begin to connect. Have you ever noticed how life quietly places certain moments in front of you that seem ordinary at first, but later become unforgettable? A simple conversation. A familiar smile. A place you almost decided not to visit. A message that arrived at the perfect time. These moments often appear too small to matter, yet they quietly shape the biggest chapters of life. Today is about one of those moments. Don't skip. Every sentence matters. Every moment brings you closer to a discovery that may completely change the way you see what has been happening around you. There are seasons when nothing appears to be changing, yet behind the scenes, everything is moving into place. Doors you cannot yet see are opening. Paths that once looked impossible are slowly becoming clear. While you have been wondering whether anything meaningful is happening, quiet preparations have already begun beyond your sight. Many people spend years searching for something extraordinary while overlooking the gentle signs that have been surrounding them all along. The greatest surprises rarely arrive with loud announcements. They arrive softly, patiently, almost unnoticed, until one day everything suddenly makes sense. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine standing before a beautiful puzzle with thousands of scattered pieces. Looking at only one piece tells you almost nothing. It seems random, meaningless. But as each new piece finds its place, the picture becomes impossible to ignore. Your journey has been exactly like that. Moments that once felt confusing may have been preparing you for something far greater than you imagined. There may have been days when you questioned your timing. You wondered why certain opportunities slipped away, why certain conversations ended too quickly, or why some paths unexpectedly changed direction. What if those moments were never setbacks? What if they were quiet adjustments leading you toward a meeting that had to happen at exactly the right time? Don't skip. There are people who enter life only for a season, teaching lessons before continuing their own journey. Then there are people whose arrival changes the direction of everything that comes afterward. The difference is not always visible at first. Sometimes the most meaningful connection begins with something incredibly ordinary. Perhaps you have already crossed paths with someone without realizing their importance. Perhaps your story has already started, but only one chapter has been revealed. Or perhaps the next page is much closer than you think. Think carefully. Has your attention recently been drawn toward places you normally would not notice? Have familiar routines suddenly felt different? Have unexpected opportunities appeared from nowhere? Sometimes these quiet shifts are not random at all. They are gentle invitations to remain open because something meaningful is approaching. Stay till the end. Most people stop watching their own story just before the most beautiful chapter begins. They become distracted. They assume nothing important is happening. They miss the quiet moments that were preparing them for something unforgettable. But you are still here. That alone says something remarkable. The next part of this story reveals why certain moments in your life have felt strangely connected, why some doors quietly closed while others slowly opened, and why a special match may be much closer than anyone expects. Don't skip. Because the next chapter uncovers a detail that almost everyone overlooks, and once you notice it, you may never see your own journey the same way again. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay with this story. The most surprising part has not even begun. A quiet moment can change an entire lifetime. Most people never notice when that moment arrives because it rarely announces itself. It comes disguised as an ordinary day, an unexpected smile, a familiar place, or a simple decision that almost feels too small to matter. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Right now, I want you to imagine standing at the edge of a beautiful path that stretches farther than your eyes can see. Behind you are every lesson, every unexpected turn, every delay, every unanswered question, and every moment you wondered if life had forgotten you. Ahead of you is a chapter that has been quietly taking shape for much longer than you realize. Many people believe that remarkable connections appear out of nowhere. But the truth is very different. Long before two meaningful journeys meet, countless tiny moments begin moving into perfect alignment. Small choices create new opportunities. Unexpected conversations create new directions. Even a change in routine can become the beginning of a completely different story. Don't skip. Have you ever looked back at your life and suddenly realized that one tiny decision changed everything? Maybe you almost stayed home but decided to go out. Maybe you answered a message you nearly ignored. Maybe you visited a place for no special reason. At the time, nothing seemed extraordinary. Yet later, that single choice became the reason an unforgettable chapter began. That is why today's message matters. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There are moments when life quietly rearranges everything without asking for permission. You may not hear it. You may not see it. Yet every day, invisible pieces continue moving into their perfect places. One opportunity connects to another. One meeting opens the door to another. One unexpected event gently guides you toward a future that once seemed impossible to imagine. The surprising part is this. Most people stop believing just before the biggest change begins. They convince themselves that nothing exciting is ahead. They stop paying attention to the beautiful possibilities standing right beside them. But not everyone makes that mistake. Some people remain curious. Some people keep watching. Some people stay until the very end of the story. If you are still here, perhaps you are one of them. Don't skip. Think about the people who unexpectedly entered your life for only a short time. Some encouraged you. Some challenged you. Some simply reminded you of qualities you had forgotten within yourself. Every encounter added something valuable. Every chapter prepared you for the next one. Nothing meaningful was wasted. Even the moments that seemed confusing carried hidden purpose. Now imagine this. Somewhere, another person has also been growing, learning, changing, and preparing through experiences that have shaped them into who they are today. Their journey has not been identical to yours, yet both stories have quietly been moving toward a point where everything begins to make sense. Isn't it remarkable how two completely different paths can eventually lead to the same destination? Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is where many stories become unforgettable. The greatest connections are rarely built on perfection. They are built on perfect timing. Timing that cannot be forced. Timing that cannot be rushed. Timing that arrives only after both journeys are ready for the next chapter. Perhaps you have wondered why certain opportunities disappeared. Perhaps you questioned why some plans changed unexpectedly. Perhaps you wondered why life seemed to ask you to wait. What if every delay was creating space for something better? What if every unexpected turn was quietly protecting a future you could not yet see? Don't skip. The next few moments are important. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning believing it will be just another day. You follow your usual routine. Nothing feels unusual. Yet somewhere within the hours ahead, one conversation, one smile, one introduction, or one unexpected opportunity changes the direction of everything that follows. That is how remarkable stories often begin. Not with loud announcements. Not with dramatic signs. But with peaceful moments that only become extraordinary when you look back. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. If this story has reached you today, let it remind you of something simple yet powerful. Keep your heart open. Keep your hope alive. Keep noticing the little moments. Because the next chapter is about to reveal why one unexpected meeting, one surprising conversation, and one unforgettable moment may connect in a way that almost no one sees coming. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this journey, share this video with someone who loves meaningful stories, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. The most surprising revelation is still ahead, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because the next part uncovers the quiet sign that appears just before an unforgettable connection begins, and once you hear it, you'll understand why today's title may mean far more than you first imagined. Something huge is waiting for you. There is one detail that almost everyone overlooks, and it may be the very reason they miss the most meaningful opportunities in life. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine reading only the first page of an incredible book and deciding you already know how it ends. It would be impossible. Yet many people do exactly that with their own lives. They judge the future based only on today's circumstances, never realizing that the most extraordinary chapters are often written much later. Your story may be following that very pattern. The title of this journey is not just a collection of words. A special match could be waiting for you. Here's why. The answer is not hidden in luck. It is hidden in preparation. Every experience, every lesson, every unexpected turn has quietly been helping shape the person you are becoming. Don't skip. Think back to the moments that seemed completely ordinary but somehow stayed in your memory. A familiar face that appeared more than once. A place you kept returning to without knowing why. A conversation that lasted only a few minutes but remained in your thoughts for days. What if those moments were never random? What if they were gentle reminders that your story is connected to something larger than you can currently see? Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine two travelers beginning their journeys from opposite sides of a beautiful landscape. Neither knows the other exists. They face different roads, different lessons, different seasons, and different challenges. Yet every step quietly brings them closer to one crossing point. But before that message arrives, heaven asks you to protect your peace. Do not sit in fear. Do not count every minute. Do not turn expectation into suffering. Instead, become still. Let your heart be soft but steady. Let your spirit be open but wise. Let your hope be alive but not restless. The message is coming through divine timing, and divine timing does not need your panic to complete its work. There is a glow around this moment, a quiet glow, like dawn before the sun appears. You may not see the full light yet, but the darkness is already changing. You may not have the message in your hands yet, but the energy of it is already moving toward you. Heaven is aligning thoughts, courage, timing, memory, and opportunity. The unseen is arranging the scene. And now, listen closely, because this is the final revelation of Part 1. The surprise message coming from your soulmate is not only about them missing you. It is not only about them thinking of you. It is not only about reconnecting. There is something they have realized about your place in their life, something that startled them, something that made them look at the future differently, something they are not sure how to say without changing everything. They are closer to saying it than they have ever been. And when that message finally arrives, the first words may look simple, but behind those words, a truth will be standing there, waiting to step into the light. The moment you have been waiting for is drawing closer than it has ever been before. Even now, while you listen, unseen pieces are moving into their places. What once felt delayed is quietly becoming aligned. You may not hear the footsteps of destiny, but they are approaching with remarkable precision. Every ordinary moment around you has begun carrying an extraordinary purpose, and the surprise message that has been forming in silence is now reaching the edge of becoming reality. Do not look away now. Stay with these words because something even deeper is about to be revealed. The story has not reached its greatest moment yet. What has already been uncovered is only the beginning. There is another layer beneath everything you have heard, and heaven is inviting you to see it before it unfolds in your life. My beloved child, there were nights when your soulmate almost reached out. Their hands hovered over the screen. Their thoughts raced. They imagined your name appearing before them, imagined your reply, imagined what it would feel like if the silence finally ended. More than once, they began writing a message only to erase every word. Not because they had nothing to say, but because they had too much to say. Their heart feared that simple words could never explain everything they had been carrying. Time continued moving, yet your memory refused to leave them behind. Every attempt to convince themselves that life should simply move on became more difficult. Every distraction eventually faded. Every busy day eventually became another quiet night where your presence returned to their thoughts with unexpected clarity. There were moments when they smiled without realizing why, only to discover that they had been remembering you. There were moments when they found themselves comparing every conversation, every connection, every encounter with the peace they once felt around your spirit. Nothing seemed identical. Something always felt incomplete. That realization has been changing them from within. Sometimes heaven does not speak through thunder. Sometimes heaven speaks through gentle reminders that refuse to disappear. A familiar melody. An unexpected memory. A dream that lingers after waking. A feeling that someone is closer than distance suggests. These quiet reminders have surrounded your soulmate again and again until they could no longer ignore what their own heart was trying to tell them. Do not skip this moment. Stay until the end. Something greater than you expect is unfolding. Your soulmate has begun asking questions they never asked before. What if I was wrong to stay silent? What if they were waiting too? What if this connection was never supposed to disappear? Those questions have echoed inside them, growing louder every day. The remarkable thing is that these questions did not come from fear alone. They came from hope. Hope has quietly returned to their heart. Hope that perhaps the bridge between you still exists. Hope that perhaps heaven has been protecting something instead of ending it. Hope that perhaps the story still has chapters waiting to be written. My child, while you were growing stronger through patience, they were growing wiser through reflection. Every disappointment you experienced shaped your compassion. Every unanswered question strengthened your discernment. Every lonely season expanded your capacity to love without losing yourself. At the same time, every silent day transformed them. The person who once hesitated is not the same person anymore. They have learned lessons they could not have understood before. They have seen how temporary distractions disappear while genuine connections remain alive. They have discovered that peace cannot be replaced by convenience. And now they are standing at the edge of honesty. There is something beautiful about honesty. It begins quietly. It does not always arrive with dramatic speeches. Sometimes it starts with one simple sentence. Sometimes it begins with, "I've been thinking about you." Sometimes it begins with, "I hope you're doing well." Sometimes it begins with words that seem ordinary. But behind those ordinary words lives an extraordinary truth. The truth is that your absence taught them your value. Not because distance created love. Because distance revealed love that had already been growing. My beloved child, understand something very important. The message coming toward you is not being forced. It is flowing from freedom. The heart cannot be commanded to remember. Yet somehow yours continues returning to them. The heart cannot be ordered to care. Yet somehow theirs continues softening whenever they think of you. This is why heaven has allowed time to do its quiet work. Time has removed confusion. Time has revealed sincerity. Time has exposed what truly mattered. You have wondered whether your prayers disappeared into silence. They did not. Some prayers are answered by changing circumstances. Others are answered by changing hearts. Before heaven changes conversations, heaven often transforms the people who will have those conversations. That transformation has been taking place longer than either of you realized. Your soulmate now sees things differently. They no longer measure this connection through fear. They are beginning to measure it through truth. Truth has a gentle power. It refuses to remain hidden forever. Every day they delay speaking becomes more uncomfortable than speaking itself. That discomfort is not punishment. It is preparation. It is heaven lovingly reminding them that some opportunities deserve courage. Stay with this message. Something extraordinary is approaching. There is another secret heaven wants you to understand. The first message is not the destination. It is the invitation. Once communication begins again, memories will begin opening naturally. Old misunderstandings may finally receive new understanding. Questions that remained unanswered may quietly find clarity. Moments that once seemed confusing may suddenly make perfect sense. The conversation will become deeper than either of you expected because both of you have changed since the last chapter. Neither heart is standing where it once stood. Growth has happened. Healing has happened. Wisdom has happened. Even the way you will understand each other has changed. That is why divine timing waited. If this conversation had happened earlier, both hearts might have misunderstood what was truly being offered. Now the foundation is stronger. Now patience has matured into wisdom. Now emotion has been balanced with understanding. My beloved child, your soul has sensed this shift before your mind recognized it. Have you noticed moments when an unexpected peace entered your heart without explanation? Have you noticed certain fears becoming quieter? Have you noticed yourself smiling for reasons you could not fully explain? Those quiet moments have not been accidents. They have been gentle whispers preparing your spirit. Something is getting closer. Something meaningful. Something worth waiting for. Do not allow old disappointments to convince you that every future moment will resemble the past. Every sunrise is different. Every season carries its own purpose. Every chapter deserves to be read before it is judged. Your story is still being written. The author has not closed the book. There is another page turning even now. Your soulmate does not yet realize how much this next decision will influence the future. They think they are only sending a message. But heaven sees something larger. One honest step often becomes the beginning of many unexpected blessings. One conversation can restore hope. One truthful moment can heal years of uncertainty. One message can become the doorway through which two hearts finally begin understanding what heaven has been preparing all along. Yet there remains one final mystery. There is one truth your soulmate has not fully admitted, not even to themselves. It surfaced only recently. It arrived unexpectedly. It changed the direction of their thoughts overnight. The realization surprised them so deeply that they sat in complete silence afterward. Their heartbeat became steady. Their breathing slowed. Their eyes filled with emotion they could not easily explain. In that quiet moment, they finally understood something about you that they had overlooked for far too long. That realization is the real reason the message is coming. But they have not yet found the courage to express it completely. The words exist inside them. The feeling is real. The intention is growing stronger every day. Soon, very soon, those hidden words will begin finding their way toward you. When they finally arrive, you will understand why every delay, every question, every silent season, and every unexpected turn had a purpose. But there is still one final truth that heaven has not revealed. That truth is so significant that it cannot be spoken until the next part, because once it is uncovered, nothing about this story will ever feel the same again.